Hello, truth lovers. I want to welcome you to Alpough, the human spirit experiment. Today's Friday. We are entering into our 668th day of the pandemic. Looks like it's here to stay. And with that said, as we're moving into our actual third year of it, it came to me always to never stop thinking. Never stop thinking. This is our never stop thinking quotes for today. Hopefully some of these things will inspire you to be prepared as we are entering into this, our third year, where changes are still coming. And that's why we have this Wisdom for Beginners series, 10-part. And we're going to be talking about how to never stop thinking. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen here. As I said, I was thinking, and we should never stop thinking. This is a reminder show to never stop thinking. Our earth has changed. We are now, I would say, the masking society, as we're seem to be covering up. And of course, we're trying to figure out if politically we can be helped. But when we ask, what the president said today was, come on, man, I have no solution. And so this no solution means that this is here to stay. And so this puts us all in a dilemma where every single day we have to take an account. We have to take an account to ourselves every day. Now, I've talked to people, lots of people are sleeping more. It's harder to get out of the bed. And I would imagine if, on top of that, if you've lost loved ones, which I have, and you're used to them being around and they're not around anymore, it's pretty tough. So for all of you who've lost someone, not just to the pandemic, but just lost, including your lovely pets, I feel you. I feel you. And that's why we're doing this 10-part series. So I'm going to go over this because we want to never stop thinking. Then I'm going to give some really good, cool quotes. So this program is devoted to the wisdom given by Sophia. And these are the 10 principles. These are the golden treasures that we all have to be. And that is, I am an adult. I'm an adult. And part of this has to be it is time to get rid of some of these childish things that has been holding us back. So these are the 10. I'm an adult of my spirit. This means you are acknowledging your spirit. If you come into this temple, then we are spiritual beings. Whether you want to believe it, whether you want to say, well, it's a religious. This is not about a religious. This is about being an adult of your spirit, because it all begins. Strong spirit. They gave up the spirit. Their spirit got weak. This is a saying that's been going on forever, because people know that everyone's a spirit. It's not how you believe or if you believe or what you believe. What you are spirit and you go on. And so what this does is the first principle is acknowledging that you are a spiritual being and you want to grow that spirit up. Whether or not it's everything you've learned over it or if you've never learned it, that's what this is about. So the first principle is always I'm an adult of my spirit. The next is I'm an adult of my mind. I'm going to be responsible for what I put in here. So I'm an adult of my mind, leading to what does that mean? I'm an adult of my thought. I'm going to be responsible for the thought. The thought. Okay. These things are all going to be in singular because it's one at a time. So we go from spirit, mind, thought, and what does that produce? Emotion. I'm an adult of my emotion. Meaning, when we talked about the other day, if you haven't looked, you'll see it at the end. So you can click on about your emotion. Now, a lot of us are all going through different things, and it's causing a corruption, so to speak, in all of these principles. Every day is something different. Every day is a major headline. And it is all meant to string us by our emotion. And so being an adult of our emotion, it doesn't mean you can't be sad or angry but what you want it to be is the fulfillment to get better, whether or not that is mourning. Okay, you take the time to deal with your emotion. Next is I'm an adult of my action, singular, one action at a time. What am I going to put in one step? Where's this one step going to take me? And the action is always about, well, I want to be of my higher good. Action. Next is I'm an adult of my body. What I put in my body, how I treat my body. And if you've not heard it from me, I'm saying this to you that everyone I'm encouraging to start training. That means to move, even if you don't want to. I know it's hard. I just started my P90X, which I normally used to do 2 times a year. But because of the things that happened to me, it actually took away from my responsibility to my body. And now I'm back on my P90X. And it's going to get me there. Because even if you don't want to do it, and I know, because believe me, I'm going to be 65. And it's hard. But again, every time I do it, it is showing me I am an adult of my body. I'm an adult of my love. I'm an adult of my love means you value your love. You value. It's a valuable. Every one of these principles is what brings value within, starting all the way at the spirit, all the way to the bottom. Who do you give your love to? It's very important. to know about your love. Because what does it do? It's a gift. It's a gift. And being an adult of love will show you how valuable when you give your love and how true it is. I'm an adult of my surrounding. Are you hanging out with the wrong people? Are you hanging out with people who will make you better? Are you hanging out with people who bring you down? So put the surrounding. Where are you living? Are you living in the place that you should be living in? Perhaps you should move. Your surrounding, your environment that you have is absolutely the most important thing. Absolutely. Because this is where your own personal outer temple is. This is the temple. This is the temple. But the surrounding is as important. 9, I am an adult of my relationship. Each relationship that you have is basically its own mini universe. My wife and I, we're in our own universe. Nobody can relate to the two of us because the two of us together makes our own universe. A relationship, each one is important. And if they don't have value, then my suggestion is you change your surrounding, you change your love, and you move on. It ain't easy to move on to some. Your family, you got to, you live with, that's who you were given. It's your family. But even then, sometimes that doesn't work out either. So after all these things, after all of it, I'm an adult of my decision. So now that you put all these other things in motion, once you put all these things in motion, then to make the proper decision for yourself is fairly easy. Once you take these 10, spirit, mind, thought, emotion, actions, body, love, surrounding, relationship, then the decision makes it easy. And what this does, it gives you and brings you living in the full moment. What's the moment filled with? It's filled with truth. It's filled with completeness. And that's why we need mother more now than ever. We need being with Mother Spirit now. We need to be mothered. It's okay. She's a woman. She's spirit, the Holy Spirit, and wants to keep things simple. You don't need to have a 100,000-page book to understand what this means. This means completeness. I want to start off with something that I think is a plague that is going on. And it is called a mass psychosis. Mass psychosis is an epidemic of madness, and it occurs when a large portion of society loses touch with reality and descends into delusions, descends into delusions. It is by design. I think we can see it. You know, as I said in that show the other day, the pandemic began on March 11th, 2020. And now we, on 1/5, it was the 666th day of the pandemic. The same day that 5G came on board. The same day that they said that children over 12 now have to take a booster, amongst other things. And of course, the next day was the 1 year thing of the insurrection, 166. Insurrection in Gematria is 666. So you had the 6th yesterday, another 666. And it just seems that we're all in this struggle of the psychosis that is dividing us. I talk to families who are being divided over all of this. And we have to fight through this. And that's why Mother's here. One of my favorite people is Russell Brand. And here's a quote that I thought was really good. Society is collapsing and people are starting to recognize that the reason they feel like they're mentally ill is that they're living in a system that's not designed to suit the human spirit. And that's why the show is named The Human Spirit Experiment. And this is another quote from Russell. Spiritual life cannot be seen as secondary. And it sums up exactly what I'm saying. Spiritual life cannot be seen as secondary. That's why this is the first principle of wisdom is to be an adult of your spirit. Because you're not almost there. We have a long way to go. This world has changed. And you know, they said I've talked about the great resignation when people are leaving the job force. And it's because it's not that they don't want to make money. It's just that people are fed up with really crappy jobs. You see, there's a mental breakdown here. People are filled with emptiness. And we have to find the fulfilling. And it starts with being an adult of my spirit. One of my favorite guys out there is Joe Rogan. And this is a quote from him. We define ourselves far too often by our past failures. That's not you. You are this person right now. You're the person who has learned from those failures. Build confidence and momentum with each good decision. Remember, decision you make from here on out and choose to be inspired. This sums it up. Decision. Build confidence and momentum with each good decision you make from here on out, and choose, decide to be inspired every day. Find people that are like-minded like you so that you can support each other. We're all in this together. But what we're really in is this time. It's time to grow up. It's been a rough first week, hasn't it? Because it's now known. Wow. They just finally came out and said, it ain't ever leaving. President Biden came out and said, listen, it's here. He said, I'm getting rid of it. Remember, that was what he politicked on. But how can you possibly fight a virus? Okay. And there's more to come. They're saying it. There's a number of variants that are going to be coming back. But listen, get healthy. Do not give up on yourself. Start working out. Start eating better. Start moving. Start calling people. Keeping tabs on them so that you have someone that you can always talk to. Now, I'm going to let you all go for now, but I'll be back the next day or so, broadcasting out again from the Alpough Show, the human spirit experience. Thank you for your time, and I wish you well. And I am an adult of my spirit, and you are too.